Good morning to everybody. So I just want to remind everybody the reason why I'm doing these weekly insights is to provide facts for everybody to understand what's going on and what's being withheld from the public that normally takes place under the leadership of the current sheriff. These weekly insights are very important, and I know the facts and truths that come out here are very hard to hear, especially for the handful of people that are working for Gary that are with fake profiles and keyboard warriors that are making comments on my Facebook page. There's just a handful of them, and they're clearly making assumptions and opinions of their own, which is fine and expected. But over the last several months, we've talked about a lot of key issues that the public doesn't know, and it's very important to bring these issues out to make sure that our voters are informed and to tell you the true side of what's really going on behind the scenes in the sheriff's office. The political motivation and personal gain that happens behind the scenes that's not even talked about. So today we're going to continue on and talk about non-disclosure agreements. You know, non-disclosure agreements are basically hushing an employee to not speak and paying them off to get rid of them and force them or have an agreement for resignations. Now, non-disclosure agreements are very, very commonplace in private business, but they're not so common in the public sector where governments are supposed to be transparent. There's not supposed to be many secrets, and there's not really trade secrets in government to hide. They're supposed to be transparent because they operate off of taxpayer dollars. So in non-disclosure agreements, this has become commonplace for the current sheriff to use these. And we'll even go back to the very first one that was signed December 1st of 2016 and continues into at least 2024 was the last one that I've obtained, which is signed by your current sheriff, December 1st of 2016. And I think it's very important to understand these non-disclosure agreements. The whole point of non-disclosure agreements in private is to protect the business, LLC, trade secrets. There's not trade secrets in government. This is unethical to use to get rid of employees and using taxpayer dollars to pay off people to go away. For instance, this was paid for, this particular non-disclosure agreement was paid for. There's line items in the budget that paid for the private attorney fees for this ex-employee and for the payoff used out of the public safety sales tax fund. People don't want you to know this. And I'm sure the keyboard warriors are going to type in and make assumptions and use deflection techniques like they have been using for Gary Caruana. But these are unethical in government. The amount that I have found in the budget that was used in the public safety sales tax, which was not intended for this use, was $165,000. That's a pretty substantial amount of money being used to pay off for a payoff. We can talk more about non-disclosure agreements. I have several more that we'll talk about in the unethical use of these in government. But I just want to make sure that everybody understands the whole reason for these videos are to bring to light these unethical behaviors that are happening in the sheriff's office and that have been continuing under the current sheriff's leadership. And again, people are being used as keyboard warriors for deflection techniques. So keep that in mind when we're discussing this. People don't like the truth to be told. Everybody have a great day, and we'll talk next week about further issues that I am going to correct when I'm elected as your next sheriff. Thank you very much.